Pro. So in terms of just the base MacBook Pro, new keyboard, double the storage, that is it. Yo guys, Jonathan here, and today we got news of the first official 2020 MacBook Pro. Specifically, this is the 13-inch model, so sadly, no 14-inch MacBook Pro yet. Fingers are still crossed, and while this wasn't the most exciting update, I would definitely say it was necessary. So I would say the biggest takeaway, or rather biggest improvement here with this MacBook Pro, is going to be the inclusion of the Magic Keyboard. This is what we saw with the 16-inch MacBook Pro last year, that then followed with the 2020 MacBook Air, and finally, we also have it here, so we can finally officially say goodbye to that butterfly keyboard, which I don't think anybody's going to be sad to say goodbye to. The other big jump here is going to be with storage, so thankfully, no more crying in 128 gigabytes. The base model, which was 128, is now 256. 256 then becomes 512, and what's also cool is this maxes out up to 4 terabytes of storage, so double the previous 13-inch MacBook Pro. And for me, the more storage I can get internally, the more I can avoid using an external drive. For me, that's the win, so definitely appreciate this bump here. Where things kind of get not so interesting though is the base 13-inch MacBook Pro essentially keeps the same exact processor as last year. So in terms of that, new keyboard, double the storage, end of story. Honestly, at this price, with what you'd probably be doing with this machine, I would heavily consider the 13-inch MacBook Air. Same price point, but you're getting double the storage with 512 versus 256. You do lose the touch bar, a little bit of performance, and the P3 display, but I think for most people, having the extra storage and faster memory is going to be more useful. It also makes the iPad Pro with Magic Keyboard a very, very compelling option as well, especially as iPadOS gets more and more advanced. And if that's something you want to see in terms of a comparison of this new MacBook Pro versus the iPad Pro with Magic Keyboard, let me know by dropping a like down below. As far as the bigger updates here, this specifically pertains to the mid-tier 13-inch MacBook Pro that starts out at $1799, so you get that same Magic Keyboard, storage bump, just like we've always seen 4 Thunderbolt ports versus 2 on the base model, and more importantly here, 10th gen Intel chips. Again, this isn't the most exciting update, so no dedicated graphics here on this 13-inch MacBook Pro update. That has been a dream for a really, really long time, although the integrated graphics here are supposed to be faster, which I'm definitely curious on testing out. With these 10th gen chips also comes a pretty substantial jump in terms of memory clock speed compared to the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and on top of that, you can max this out with 32 gigabytes of RAM, so potentially you could max out a pretty beefy 13-inch MacBook Pro with up to 4 terabytes of storage and 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is kind of crazy. At that price point though, if you really, really need performance, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is going to be leaps and bounds ahead of the 13-inch MacBook Pro, so definitely consider that if you're looking to buy one or the other. Also, in terms of not exciting, there still remains a 720p potato camera smashed inside this MacBook Pro, and that almost goes full circle back to the iPad Pro combo, where that has a much better front-facing camera, and in these weird times where we're kind of relying on that, you would think Apple would throw something better inside this machine. I also realize we're going to face the dilemma of should I buy this now or should I wait for a completely new future refresh? There are obviously still rumors of a completely new 16-inch MacBook Pro with a new display. I still have a dream of a 14-inch MacBook Pro with dedicated graphics, but at a certain point, if you need a machine, you should buy one. The fact here is that this 13-inch MacBook Pro is still a better buy than the 13-inch MacBook Pro that existed 2 weeks ago. Gone is that keyboard, which again, I don't think anybody's gonna miss. And in are better storage options, better chips, and either way, I'm excited to check this out, so definitely stay tuned. If you haven't yet, definitely subscribe because I'll have the review coming out later this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you missed it, got a massive $5,000 tech giveaway, which is still going on, linked up here and down below. This is Jonathan, and I will catch you guys later.